Tell the remaining students to join fastly. So, okay. Good afternoon to all the students. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevrolet Engineering College. Today, in this class, I am going to discuss the topic, which is a main topic in the first unit, that is types of bonds. So, I'm going to discuss about the all the types of bonds presenting in the metallurgy, that is chemistry. So this is my 8th class regarding to the metallurgy and material science subject. So in the earlier classes, we have discussed about the different types of solids. So ionic solid, covalent solid, metallic solid. So there are different types of solids and we have been discussed in the earlier classes. In today's class, we are going to see about the different types of bonds. So if a pure substance is that's having different structures depending on the type of bonding, so they have, so if you take a pure metal or a pure substances which having different structures, that is the internal structures are different depending upon the type of bonding, that is various types of bonds are presenting in the structures. So they have ionic bond, covalent bond and metallic bond. So these are the main types of bonds which is present in the molecular biology. So ionic bond, covalent bond and metallic bond. So the basic example, a good example for the ionic bond is sodium chloride, that is NaCl. So the chemical formula is sodium for sodium chloride is NaCl and it is called as salt. And next coming to the second one, that is covalent bonds. So covalent bonds are again divided into simple molecular bonds and joint molecular bonds. So in the simple molecular bonds, the examples are carbon dioxide and water. So these carbon dioxide also present in the water. So that is the basic example for simple molecular bonds. And next coming to the joint molecular bonds, the examples are diamond and graphite, which is very strong in its structure. So that is known as joint molecular bonds. So diamond and graphite are the very strong structures comparing to the bondings. So they have a very good bonding also. And last one, that is metallic bonds. So the good example for the metallic bonds is copper. So these are the three types of bonds, three types of important bonds. Not these are all the not bonds, so they have separate bonds, but these are the important bonds which is present in the based on different structures in the pure substances. So the structure of a substance decides what its physical properties will be. That means the structure defines the physical properties of a material. So if you are using the metallic structure, the physical properties will be in physical metallic state only. So if you are using it in the structure is in the ionic state, the physical properties will be changed from metallic to ionic. So that is the difference between the structures. So the structure of a substance decides the what its physical properties will be. So that depends on the structure of the substance. Next, coming to the first one, that is the first bond, ionic. So ionic bond. So these ionic substances are compounds of metals and non-metals. So these ionic substances contains both the metallic forms and non-metallic forms. So they consist of the both the metallic and non-metallic groups. The examples are sodium chloride, copper oxide, magnesium sulfide. So sodium chloride is the best example for explaining the structure of the ionic bond or ionic substances. And remaining we have copper oxide, magnesium sulfide and etc. So these are all the remaining examples. So the best one is the sodium chloride. We call it as NaCl. So NaCl is the chemical formula. So they are made of the ions. So these ionic bonds are made of ions in which the atoms which have lost or gained electrons, giving them a positive or negative charge. So it will give the a positive or negative charge which the atoms have lost or gained the electrons. So that is of the sodium chloride. So in this picture we are seeing the sodium chloride structure. So in which sodium is present in the violet color. You can see the violet color atoms as sodium ions and chloride atoms as green color. So chloride is present in the green color atoms. So sodium is violet color. So that is positive sodium ion. Sodium is the positive ion and chloride is the negative ion here. So chloride is the negative ion here. So in between the sodium and chloride there is an electrostatic force. That is there is an electrostatic force which is obtained in the structure of sodium chloride. Therefore the positive ions and the negative ions strongly attract each other to make a regular crystal structure. So when you are seeing this structure, these are well arranged. So one atom and the other chloride atom. So next is sodium atom, next chloride. So these are well arranged. So these well arranged ions attract each other. So first one is a positive ion and next one is a negative ion. So they are attracting each other. So that is the structure of sodium chloride. So we have taken an example here as sodium chloride only. So we may take any type of examples, but I am taking the sodium chloride as the example. So sodium has the positive sodium ions and chloride has negative chloride ions. So chlorine is the negative ions here and sodium is the positive ions. So they have an electrostatic force behind them to attract strongly each other to make a regular crystal structure. So these sodium and chloride are very attractive to each other and they form say regular crystal structure. So that is about the sodium chloride structure in the ionic bond. And next one, because of the very strong bonds between the ions, ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. So because of the strong bonds between the ions, these ionic compounds have the high melting and boiling points. So after for all the high boiling points and melting points, it has the strong bonds. So you can see the bondage structure of a crystal structure. So in the earlier slide, we have taken the sodium chloride. Here we are taking the strong ionic bond structure. Next, sodium chloride melting point is over 800 degrees centigrade. So the melting point of the sodium chloride is over 800 degrees centigrade. So the basic melting point of the sodium chloride is over 800 degrees centigrade. So because of the strong bonds between the ions, the ionic compounds have high melting and high boiling points. So because of the high melting and high boiling points, sodium chloride has a very high melting point of 800 degree centigrade. So that is of the strong bond structure. We can see it in the left side of the slide. So left side picture is of the strong ionic bond structure, which is in the blue and greenish color. And next one, we are seeing the different melting points of the ionic compounds. So the different melting points of the ionic compounds have been seen in the slide. So in the right side picture, this is the crucible. So in which the metals are used to pour and melt, which is called as crucible. So first of all, these are the different types of ionic compounds and its melting points. So first one is the iron chloride. So first one is the iron chloride. So iron chloride has a melting point of 677 degrees centigrade. So it is somewhat less than the remaining ionic compounds, but it is also very high in temperature. That is 677 degrees centigrade is very high. And next one, coming to the potassium chloride, KCl. It has a melting point of 770 degrees centigrade. So the melting point of the potassium chloride is 770 degrees centigrade, which is somewhat higher than the iron chloride. Next one is the sodium chloride, that is NaCl. It is 801 degrees centigrade. So it can be vary in some points based upon the temperature and pressure, but the basic melting point of the sodium chloride is 801 degrees centigrade. So 801 degrees centigrade, the melting point of the sodium chloride. Next one is the copper oxide. Copper oxide. So copper oxide has very high melting point, that is 1446 degrees centigrade. So the general melting point of the pure copper is 800 to 870 degrees centigrade. That is based upon the pressure and temperature. So up to 870 degrees centigrade. But in the ionic compounds, the copper oxide has a melting point of 1446 degrees centigrade. So it is somewhat very higher than the remaining ionic compounds. And coming to the last one, calcium oxide, CaO3. So for the calcium oxide, the melting point is 2707 degrees. So it is very higher than the remaining ionic compounds, and comparing to its the iron chloride, it is 4 times the calcium oxide. So it is the quarter part of the calcium oxide. The iron chloride melting point is very low, that is 677 degrees. But when coming to the melting point of calcium oxide, it is very high, that is 2707 degrees. So these are the some of the ionic compounds and their melting points. So these are some of the melting points of these ionic compounds in their regular structure. So these are all the comes under the melting of in this crucible only. When we apply heat on the crucible, it becomes in dark color, that is darkish orangish color. So you can see it in the picture. Next, these ionic compounds are made of charged ions, that is positive charged ion and negative charged ion. So generally these charged ions are consists of two types. First one is the positively charged ion and second one is the negatively charged ion. And they can conduct the electricity but only if the ions can move. So if the positive and negative ions can move, the electricity is passing in that compound, that is in the ionic compound or any other compound. So if you want to conduct electricity in that compound, you have to see whether the ions are can move or not. If the ions can move, the electricity can conduct in that material. But if the ions cannot move, the electricity do not pass in the material. So if it is molten, the ions can move. So when the what is the reason for moving the electrons? Moving the ions means it is in the molten state, that is in the liquid state. So if it is molten, the ions can move, that is for the melting purpose. But if it is dissolved, the ions can move. So if it is dissolved in the solution also, it can move. So that is the basic difference between the melting and dissolving. So the melting is the in the both conditions the ions can move. But if it is molten, the ions can move, and if it is dissolved also, the ions can move. So in the bottom side picture, you can see the left side, you can see the melting of ions, and then the right side you can see the dissolving of ions. So these crystal structure consists of these positive and negatively charged ions, so which is randomly arranged or orderly arranged. So if the crystal structure is melted, this is the molten structure of the charged ions. So that is randomly arrangement of the molecules. But if you dissolve it, if you dissolve the ions in solution, the structure is like this. So the water becomes some positively charged ions, and the temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. So the temperature is 20 degrees centigrade in the dissolved state and 800 degrees centigrade in the melting stage. So that is 800 degrees centigrade in the melting stage and the 20 degrees centigrade in the dissolving stage. So that is the basic difference. So the temperature variations have been very high. So if you want to dissolve a charged ion, you do not need high temperatures. So you need only the solution. So that is the basic difference between the melting and dissolving of ionic compounds. Next, this is the molten ionic compounds conducting electricity. So here the ions are moving. So when the ions are moving, the electricity can pass through easily. So this is a positively charged ion and this is a negatively charged and these are connecting through the battery. So this is an electrolyte, this is an electrolyte. So these are connected with the battery, and these are the positively and negatively charged ions, which is in a state of randomization. So which is in random state. So you can see it for a while. This is the molten ionic compound. So in the molten ionic compound, the electricity can pass. So coming to the next slide, when the salt is put in water, water molecules pull the ions apart to make a solution. So this lets the ions move around. So generally, if you have put the salt in water, so salt means sodium chloride. So these sodium chloride solution, sodium chloride is put in the hydrogen molecule in water, that is hydrogen molecules pull the ions apart to make a solution. So the salt can dissolve in the water, that is sodium chloride, that is salt is the solute and water is the solvent. So solute can dissolve in the solvent. So solute can dissolve in the solvent. You can see it in the picture here. So sodium chloride is applying in the water, is putting in the water, and these are the hydrogen molecules. So two hydrogen molecules is bonding with the oxygen molecule, one oxygen molecule. So reddish color is the oxygen molecule and bluish one is the hydrogen molecules. And when the sodium chloride ions are put in the water, these ions are free to move it around. So when they are moving it around, they are bounded by these hydrogen molecules. So you can see it in the picture here. So five water molecules have been circulated in the chloride, have circulated the chloride, have bounded the chloride element, and 6 water molecules have surrounded the sodium ion. So when they have been surrounded by these water molecules, they will be dissolved, and apart to the making solution, this lets the ion move around. So when the ions are moving, this will be dissolved, that is the sodium positive ions and the chloride negative ions have been dissolved in the water. So in the water, the remaining atoms are surrounded by the water molecules, that is H2O molecules. You can clearly seen in the picture. That is why they are going to dissolve in the water. So this is the another slide for the conduction of electricity. So seeing the atoms with the electricity, this is the different one. So first one is the pure water. So for the pure water, the molecules are arranged in this manner. So there is a lot of gaps between that and no interlinkage of these molecules. So there is no magnetic property in this. There is no attraction of molecules in the pure water. So only one type of molecule is present. So there is no attraction between the atoms. So the electricity cannot pass. So you can see it is here. The bulb did not lighten. So the light did not on. So that is why the electricity does not pass in the pure water. And when coming to the solid solution of the salt, So you can see the positive and negative ions here. So positive sodium ions and negative chloride ions, you can see it in the picture. So there are no gaps between these elements, but there is attraction of molecules, that is positive and negative ions have been attracted, but there is no gap between the atoms. So if there is any gap, the electricity can pass in the solid solution, but there is no gap. So in the solid salt also the electricity do not pass. So in the solid salt also the electricity do not pass. But when coming to the salt solution, in the salt solution there is a sodium ion and the chlorine ion, sodium and chlorine ion, and there are water molecules also. So there is a lot of water molecules also. So there is an attraction between the sodium and chlorine ion, you can see it in the picture. They are attracting each other, and they can move the ions freely. So there is a lot of gap and these ions can be moved easily. So the electricity can pass in the salt solution. So but not in the solid salt as well as the pure water. When these both are combined, that is the solid solution and the pure water, it makes the salt solution. So in the salt solution the electricity can conduct, so it can conduct the electricity. So by dissolving the ionic compounds also we can conduct the electricity. So that is the basic scene here. So dissolved ionic compounds also conduct electricity. So dissolved ionic compounds can also conduct electricity. So that is the basic idea of this slide. So to understand easily, this type of slides can easily understand to the brains of the students. So idea of the students have been well developed. Coming to the next one, it is simple molecular substances. So these are the substances like carbon dioxide, that is CO2, and water HO2, and methane CH4, which are always made of simple molecules, whether they are solids, liquids, or gases. So they are making the simple molecules as whether it is a solid or liquid or gaseous state. The bonding remains and the molecular substance remains constant. So I am taking the example here. So I am taking the H2O molecule as example. So I am dividing these molecules into two types. First one is the hydrogen molecule, that is the two molecules present in the structure. H2 means two hydrogen molecules. So this is the first one and this is the second one. And an oxygen atom, you can see it in the red color. So an oxygen molecule, oxygen atom, you can see in the red color. A single atom is present in this structure. So these are the individual compounds, and when we are combining it is H2O. So that is the molecule is considered as H2O. So it is present in the solid as atoms and liquid as water, that is H2O, and also in the gaseous state. So it is also present in the gaseous state also, that is hydrogen atoms is present in the gas as well as oxygen atom is also presented in the gas. So this is all about the simple molecular substances which are always made of simple molecules, whether they are solids, liquids, or gases, be it a solid or a liquid or gases. So the best example is H2O. So you can see it in the solid also, a hydrogen solid and an oxygen solid, and you can highly see it in the liquid substances, that is water, H2O. H2O is the water. And gaseous state also, individual atoms, that is hydrogen atom and oxygen atom, are well presented in the gaseous state also. This is all about the simple molecular substances. So next, in the next slide, we can see about the molecules only weakly attract each other. So the weaker atoms have been attracted to each other. So we are taking an example here. These are the white color atoms are the positive ions, and red color are the negative ions. So you can see it in the picture. They are forming a crystal structure bonding, and these are have very strong bonds between the atoms. So molecule is very hard to break up. So the bonding between each molecule is very hard to break up. So that is why they are not breaking. And next, weak bonds between the molecules. So there is a weak bonds, that means it has a somewhat like gap. The gap between the molecules are called as weak bonds, and these can also be easy to separate. So these type of molecules have easily been separated. So these can be easily separated. So that is the difference between the strong bonds and weaker bonds. So in the strong bond, very strong bonding is between the atoms, so it is very hard to break. So this is the example. But in the weaker bonds, the molecules are easy to separate because of its weak structure. You can see it in the picture also. So the positive ions is indicated in white color, and the negative ions is indicated in the red color. So I can end this topic here, and remaining topic is discussed in the next class. So that is the covalent bonds. So we have studied about the ionic compounds, that is ionic bonds, and the simple molecular bonds in the covalent bonds, that is simple molecular bonds in the covalent bonds. So we have seen the ionic bonds and simple molecular bonds. In the next class, I am going to discuss about the joint molecular bonds and the metallic bonds, that is joint molecular bonds and the metallic bonds, in the next class. Thank you. మా రిమైనింగ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ రారా గణేష్?
లేదు సార్, రాలేదు సార్.
ఎందుకని?
ఏమో సార్, తెలీదు.
అన్ని క్లాసులకి ఇంతేనా?
మొన్న 2 రోజుల నుంచి అటెండ్ అవ్వట్లేదండి సార్.
ఓకే, సరేనమ్మా. మన గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టారు కదా కాలేజ్ యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్, దాంట్లో అయినా చూడమని చెప్పండి క్లాసెస్.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
ఓకే అమ్మా, థ్యాంక్ యూ. డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయమ్మా?
లేదు సార్.
డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే పర్లేదు, మధ్యలో అయినా అడగచ్చు, లేకపోతే క్లాస్ లాస్ట్ లో అయినా అడగచ్చు, మీరు ఇబ్బంది ఏం లేదు.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సార్.